Hello, Parsons Collab Design for Literacy students. This is Marcos, and this is our week 3 going to week 4 recap briefing video. Let's make this a quick one so that we can all get back to our weekends or our weeks and continue on our school projects and enjoying this beautiful February weather. All right, so what we're looking at here in terms of the schedule, where we're at with the class, we are going to our 4th week and our part 3 design development uh, assignment is next. And basically what that means is that each of you will continue the progress you've made on your design of your baby board book and further study, explore, and develop the design. And that fits into the context of having 2 more weeks of design and finalization and completion. And then the final files will be due on part 6. In that same week, our next project will begin. So they'll be overlapping. So you'll have to be turning in your final files while also beginning the research of your second book. So basically, that last week is just going to be more about you should be done packaging your files and just making sure you deliver them to me. But in the event that you're behind, there is time there to work all week on that as well. So it's kind of a cushion week. But right now, let's focus on part 3. Right now, we should all be working towards responding to the feedback that we got in our last class session and working towards developing your design further, studying how to develop your illustration style, your typography, and also your text, like how the text will be written. There was a little bit of focus on covers and endings, which is important. So, and back of the book kind of needs to be explored for many people. So keep working on that, and throughout the week, if you need, share your progress with me via an email, or if you need to talk, let me know if you want to do a quick Zoom. And what you should be doing is updating your full presentation, adding this new section to the first 2 parts that you've developed already. And next week in class, or for class, I should say, we're going to be doing small group presentations, most likely group sessions by Zoom. I will bring more details to that in an email later this week, but that's the plan for now, is to do a working class where when you don't meet for Zoom, you spend the time working on your project. All right, so for design development, we're going to do all the things we talked about. This is the written explanation of everything, and this is what's from on the Canvas assignment briefing, so you can get this there. And again, just make sure you're looking at adding onto your presentation, and you can see here the first rows of pages are your research presentation, followed by your storyboard. And the third row is kind of meant to show what you should have been this past week, and then adding on to that for this week. And this is just one version of it. You might not be even doing things in color yet. It might be different. Everyone's different, but basically you should kind of be furthering your progress as much as you can. Remember to utilize the template that's been on all of the assignments so far. You can download that. It's an InDesign template. Again, make sure a few of you guys were wandering off changing this typeface or letting it default. So make sure you activate this. Active Grotesque is the typeface. And the back here, it's an Adobe font, so you should all be able to get that easily. And remember the dirt logo in the corner. Don't get rid of that or overlay it, and on the spine as well. You can change the dirt logo on the spine to white if you want, but to keep the front black. And there's also a white box around the dirt logo that's there that you can use if you want to use that to separate the logo from your cover. Remember the bleed that you have to make. If you have complex illustrations, they're going to have to be big enough to expand into this red line outside of the white area, which is the actual area. So remember that. And then it's just a quick example of where a past student was at this point. Here's an example of someone who's working on this emotions book, or it's called I Feel. And this was their storyboard, which you guys have all done. And then in terms of exploring it, remember they got 16 pages, including the back, 14 interior pages or 7 spreads. And even with this is a very simple book. You may have seen this on the table in class, but it ended up being much simpler than anything we're looking at here. But even the simplest book requires exploration so that you can then know that your simple black and white book is the best way to do it, because here she's going to explore various ways of using color and graphic elements. For part of your assignment for this next week, you might want to even list the feedback that you got as a way to keep track of it yourself, but also to have it in your presentation when you review in class. But so in doing this, it's all about now we're going to look at nuances. We're going to look at how to do different variations of the front and the spine and the back. With the spine, remember, there's missing element here, your name, by your name should be here. Um, and with this student, she just explored different ways of looking at how to title the book or to not title the book or to use the different emotions, whether it's graphic or to literally make type into part of the face with the back and the spine, looking at ways to connect with this idea of a spine that's a little more graphically uh, enticing and doing different ideas with the back and the spine. Here she's kind of settling on actually, I believe, what the end cover became. But again, to have something this simple, you should look at what else you can do that explores typography and color. So here are some samples of how she might approach the inside with big typography and faces that have color elements, or utilize a way to separate type with a graphic element like a bar, a colored bar, um, or to, just changing the placement around. And this is a place to like try to figure out what the best way to design your book is. And are they two faces per book, giving you 14 emotions, or is it seven emotions, seven spreads, and keeping it one at a time? And these are all small little decisions, but they make a big difference in how the book works. And then even to the subtlety of saying, do I just say the word of the emotion, or do I put in the title, I feel happy, or do I just say happy? So all these kinds of things are the things you should be looking at this point, so that by the time we get to the end of this presentation, you've nailed down what you want, how you want your book to be, and how you can develop it further into a finished book that you can work on over the next two more weeks. And just as an example from last class, remember that you could also be looking at more details, like in this example, where the student just looked at slight shifts in color and just slight shifts in how to develop their spreads on the inside. But here you can see that she's got three, four of her spreads, five even now. She's up to five. So depending on how intensive your illustrations are, you might be this far along. You might have four or five spreads worked out in the cover, pretty close to being worked out. That would be great. You don't have to be this far along, but you can be. Again, it depends. If you're making real intensive illustrations like many of you are, it's okay to just kind of be in the beginning stages of finishing those illustrations, but you should have stuff done at some level. Okay, so the assignment briefing's on Canvas. You can click on Part 3, Design Development, and the book template is there in InDesign. Here's an example of kind of what you should have, your full presentation loaded up on the Google Drive that shows your storyboards, your initial spreads, and your more finalized spreads. And of course, never forget the thank you page. We know how important that is and how much joy that brings all of us. And then here's the Google Drive link. Please be sure to upload that before class and use that to share. And that's basically it for this week. So keep going, everybody. Remember, as I said in class, this is like, I know it's a cute little book, but it's an important project. It's a project we're going to print. It's a project that you're going to have with you as part of your portfolio and your experience at Parsons. So take the time now to make the book great. Every little detail counts. Suffer through the decisions. Put your mind to it. Share with other friends. Share with me. Get feedback from people. Think about the book as an experience again, like that a parent or a loved one will be sharing with maybe even an infant or a toddler. And think about the sounds that will come out, like how will your book work when you're reading it out loud? Is there opportunity for the participant, for the reader, the deliverer of the book to add to it in some way, to enhance to it? Is there ways that pointing can help? And are there details? We talked a lot about adding maybe secondary characters that are small that can give a new level of excitement in terms of having the story and then having a secondary character making little comments in the corner or something. So just look at different tactics like that, or purely simple, beautiful books that the adult would want to be reading or want to have in their home because of its sophisticated nature, yet still having a child appeal to a child. And again, just have the discipline to work on this, to take the time. I know you guys all have other classes as well, so bring all that into your schedule and keep track one by one, keep a good pace like a marathon, get things done, rest, and repeat. So, okay, so I will leave it at that, and reach out if you need any help, and I will see you on Zoom on this next coming week, as we will have small group meetings. If you have a preference on whether you want to be early in the class, middle of the class, or late in the class, send me an email. I'll decide. If you're too late, sorry. But do send me if you say, can I be in the first group, or can I be in the last group, or can I be in the middle group? Just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just randomly put together like three groups of 4 or 5, something like that. All right, everybody, keep going. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Zoom on Thursday. Bye.